Okay, so welcome back to another Beard Invades. This week we've got Shaun from Shaun in the Shed. How you doing, mate?
I'm all good. How are you?
Good. I'm really good. Now Shaun has come. I kind of met Shaun through Paul, which was the last Beard Invades. Was it? Yeah, it was.
Was it?
And since then, I've been working away and checking Shaun's videos out. I mean, the barrel, that was classic. Such a simple build. A beer barrel with a little seat on top. Brilliant.
It is. Yeah,
And
I've still got it in there. It's like a weight at the moment for
yeah,
working out. Yeah.
and the other one that I quite like was the skateboard bench. That looked really cool. I mean, I can see that in a youth club or, some kind of a wine bar. I mean, people pay a fortune for that sort of stuff nowadays,
They do.
So anyway, right. So enough of that. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Shaun.
Me? Okay. I'm 43. I've got two adult daughters, 19 and 22. When people ask me about myself, I always say I'm on my third life. My childhood was the first life. I then joined the military at the age of 18 and spent about 9 years in the army. And then I'm currently on life number 3 as a civilian. And it's not been a bad life. There's been some testing times. There's been some great times. So I currently live in the outskirts of Nottinghamshire, where I'm from. And I work in IT for a large service provider during the day. And at night time, I put on my dark cape and I descend to the shed.
As we all do.
Yeah.
Why YouTube? Why did you decide? I know we had a brief discussion earlier on where you was telling me about you started this journey by putting photos on Instagram and Facebook, things like that, but then you progressed from there into actually recording and uploading to YouTube. Why did you do that? What made you do that?
The driver for it. Well, I've been watching quite a lot of makers on YouTube, as a lot of us do over the years. I've never strayed away from watching I Like to Make Stuff and Mateus Wendell. They were my two primary ones I started with. Then I started drifting into other makers and finding several British makers, which was great, and understanding that there were people local that I could look up to and follow. At Maker Central, for the first iteration of it, I met Bob Claggett from I Like to Make Stuff. So, big tick in the box for me, goal met. And I chatted to him for quite a lot of time over the weekend. We bumped into each other several times. And we started to talk on a different level. It wasn't, I love watching your videos. We were talking family stuff, and my partner was there, and Bob's wife was there, and we were talking kids and everything. And it ended up being that we would just bump into each other and ask how things were. I then became a Patreon for Bob's channel. And year 2 at Maker Central, I walked in there, and Bob walked up to me and said, "Hi, Shaun, how are you?" And I was like, "Yeah, great. This is, I'm not starstruck like I was the year before," and it was a total different experience. And we spoke more and more, and he just kept asking me, have I made anything in last year? Because we spoke about it the previous year. I said, "Yeah, I do make things, but I tend to take photos once complete for my friends to see what they've done." So he said, "Go on, record what you do, not necessarily a video, just record the process." Because I create a lot of quiz content, because I'm a quiz master for 2 or 3 quiz nights a week, an event host as a secondary little sideline. So I said, "Yeah, I'll have a go at it." And I came away from Makers Central last year with a belief in my head that I could do it. There was nothing stopping me doing it. I think, as well as the chat with Bob, I spent about 40 minutes chatting to Jessie from iJessup about her process, because listening to her talking about, she sits and talks to the camera even though she has a lisp, and she gets past that and she deals with the trolls for it. I was quite, in my head I was like, if Jessie can do it, I can do it. And there's nothing I've got that stops me doing it. I get it in front of people and talk all the time at work, at quizzing. So to do it in front of the camera is not a problem, surely. So I went away, I had a nice camera anyway, from over the years of just taking photos. So I set myself up, recorded a little intro for my channel just to see if I could do something silly. And I did that, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to go for this. I'm going to set myself a target of 6 months to make things, get a few videos out, just see what the reaction is from my friends. I didn't necessarily tell people I was doing it, but what I did, I set up all my my channel branding. So I did it. I'm very methodical and logical in my approach to things. So I went away, created the Instagram, the Twitter, the Facebook page, the YouTube channel, and then I took the intro and uploaded it to YouTube, and then I set myself 30 days worth of photos from my back history of a few projects I've done, and I set them on a schedule and I said, once these are finished, I need to have some content that needs to go on Facebook, on YouTube. And about halfway through that, I uploaded a video because I couldn't wait till the end. And then I did another video, and it became that compulsion that every weekend I wanted to be making something and recording it. Initially, making things was to get me away from computers, to get me away from electronic devices, which I sit at for up to 10, 12 hours a day with work. And it was just a distraction for me. But the more I was in there and the more playing with recording things, the more I was like, I'm liking the editing phase as well. You know, I'm at my desk, at my home desk at the moment where I work, and I work from home. But I normally have my Mac sat to my side as well with another monitor on it. So I've like 3 monitors, 2 laptops. When I'm recording audio, I'd start. It was the geeking me came out. If I needed it, I went and bought it. It was an excuse to go and buy it. I've got a ring light set up next to me as well for when I do vlogging pieces, and so it was a habit that then became quite interesting. I was enjoying it, and I got in a habit of trying to get something out every 2 weeks. And then I got to about December time, and I hit a bit of a hump in the road, and I vlogged about it that my head went into a bit of a funk, but it wasn't YouTube related, it was just off YouTube. And even as much as I wanted to be back videoing, I didn't think my tone on camera felt when I recorded myself. I didn't feel like I was in the space to be able to convey any messages across. So I took a break then. But since then, I've been stuck on a project for 10 weeks. Not because it's a hard project. It's got lots of little fiddly bits in it. And I don't want to get past that project. I don't want to put it to one side and I'll come back to it. I want to finish it before I get on to the next project. So that's the reason I've not done a video in 10 weeks. But
that's the problem. I mean, you know, you've got to... I used to have a few projects where I'd be working on 2 or 3 projects at the same time to keep myself interested. But then I found that sometimes I wouldn't finish the one of the 3 projects, and all that was trying to get videos edited and get them ready just to upload as much as I possibly can. So anyway, shall we have a little tour of your shop?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, cool.
Okay, so shop purposes, I've created a second space in the house because it gets a bit cold in the winter months. So obviously I do my editing in here at my desk, which gets a little bit messy sometimes because it's a bit of a dumping ground. And I get to do my voiceovers with my trusty condenser mic. And then for my birthday last year, I got bought a new craft desk, which is great because I sit drawing on the sofa sometimes when I'm doodling out projects. So they got fed up when we sit there moaning that I put my pencil through the paper or through the notebook. So my daughters, another half, bought me a craft desk, which at the moment has some Padook and some tulip wood on it, which are for a little secret project. Both me and Paul Brooks are both working on the same secret project together.
Oh, yes. So that was his secret thing he couldn't show us.
It was, yes. Mine's still in the wood phase because I'm the last person to... I've been waiting for everyone else to finish so I can do my piece. So this is where I do my cutting of fine stuff with a craft knife and everything. And I've been playing with some milliput lately. So this is where I do the little intricate things that I don't want to do in the shop, where I can sit down and take my jumper off and actually do some comfortable work. And obviously it's where I do my editing as well. Recently I've done my first face on blog. So yeah, I've even got the camera set up ready from the other day when I was filming at the craft desk. So that's the inner office. Yeah, it's a bit of a dumping ground at the moment,
Okay.
and the snake lives in here as well. So
Yeah.
obligatory sticker wall,
Nice.
and it's a two-car garage which I've adopted to be my workshop. Um, I've never put a car in a garage ever. The only thing that's not workshop related is a small tub of gardening implements down there,
Right.
hidden away. So one of the first big things I ever built was my bench. It was a little project I made for myself just to have somewhere to work in the workshop. So it was made out of 3x2s and 2x4s with a nice hardwood ply top on it. So that was where I first started. And I used to just put my miter saw on that and take my miter saw off it and then move on to the next thing. The next thing I ever got in the workshop was my little table saw, which is my Electra Beckman PK25. It's about 22, 25 years old.
All right.
So it's an old 10-inch it's a 10-inch circular saw. It's a workhorse. It does what it needs to. The only thing I don't like about it is the top. The top's got ridges in the aluminium, so it's not. Even though it's flat, sometimes you can get a bit of a rock on things, and the fence isn't the greatest on it. So I'm in the process of looking for a new saw at the moment, but it's do I go new or do I find a really old solid one that I want to get from somewhere? After that, then I'd say I've got an old Bosch sliding miter saw, which I had for a while, and it's a PCM 8S. It does the full compound. I have been thinking of replacing it because I had a few sparks come out of the motor. It's about 3 years old, and a bit of acrid burning every now and again. So it took a few bits of dusting of late. And that used to just sit on the floor, and I used to take it off and put it on the bench as I needed it. And then I watched a little video by Mr. Claggett on I Like to Make Stuff, where he made a little mitre stand, which I built, and then I built the storage on one of my first videos to go on the sides to put all my organising, because we're like a good organiser. I was quite handy. I was looking at the price of them all on like Screwfix and everything, and they were ridiculous prices. And I walked into B&M one day, bargain, six quid each.
Oh, that's
so I was
good.
like, yeah, I'll have 16 of them because that's how many I need to fill my thing up. Half of down that end, half of them are empty. So yeah, it's where they are at the moment. And we're talking about projects that don't get quite finished. This was a mallet I made about 3 months ago, a deadweight mallet.
All right.
The head's there, the handle's there.
Just need to finish
One day they may meet. Yeah. It's my little mallet collection because me and Mr. Brooks, we both have one of these as well from April.
Oh, I like that. Yeah.
Yeah. It's amazing what you can do when you've got a CNC that can cut plywood and everything. And yeah.
Definitely.
So one of the things I always find with the workshop is you're always tidying. So my first wood storage was thrown up on the wall just to get rid of a load of 3x2s. I have a few builder friends that just go, oh, I've got 22 3x2s. Do you want them? Yep, thank you. Deliver them to my workshop, please. And so I ended up with them piled up. So I did that. And that was the start of a bit of a journey. I need to sort things out in the workshop. And a few of my videos, I then started building sandpaper storage, drill storage. I found my pillar drill from ages ago, which was lying around, a little silver line pillar drill, which I totally forgot I had. It was in the corner, covered up with dust and an old sleeping bag. So I dug it out and I went, oh look, great. So this is the rubbish corner at the moment, because this is an old dining table we used to have, and that's got to go, and I've got to make a new bench for down here because I'm starting to collect tools at the moment that I need to make a home for. So one's the pillar drill, one is the Triton TPT 125 thicknesser, which I bought at Maker Central last year. Someone had put the pricing wrong on the stand, and it was about 150 quid. And I went to buy it, and the guy went, no, it's the wrong price. We've already sold two at the wrong price. So you've got to pay the full price. I was like, okay, no problem. So I bought that last year. I've only used it twice since I've had it because it took about 4 months to arrive because they ran out of stock. So I need to build somewhere for that to sit. And I'm going for the obligatory flip top bench.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. That's good. Oh, there you are.
Because we all love a flip top bench, but I need to make 2 of them because 1 sander, 2 sander. I've got a Clark Woodworker, which is my belt sander and my disc. So that's that little beast there.
Oh yeah.
I have a habit of going around the local auctions.
Right.
I think it was about 160, 170 quid for this little beast, and I paid about 45 quid for it. Brand new in the box. I picked up the Triton spindle sander from a local woodworker who was on a tear down of his workshop. I went around to pick up a Rutland's home brand one, and that was sat next to it. And I went, "Are you selling that as well?" He went, "Yeah, it's a 5 or more." I went, "I'll have that one then." The only reason it is, yeah, and the only reason I went for it is because my little friend Mr. Brooks has a thing for orange, and if I buy things that are orange, it really winds him up. So yeah, so I like to try and keep my clamps as tidy as possible. So I've got my sash clamps, I've got my F clamps and my compression clamps. Then I've got my little V clamps as well. So it's all nice and tidy. It's the one bit of the workshop that is tidy. You know, this pile of wood it was a pallet a few days ago. What every workshop needs, and that's a beer rack, and that's where I keep my beer. Right. I don't drink much of it these days. It's there to age. Right. I like to drink a lot of Belgian beer and stouts. They're better when they age. And we talk about getting free wood. We had a refurb at work, and as they ripped all the door frames out, it turned out all the old door frames were solid oak. So I've got a load of oak door frames which appeared from somewhere. At the same time, the floor in the training room was American walnut. So I've got a small pile of that, and I've got a bigger pile of it at work, and that's what the thickness has been stripping back. It's thin, but it's great for making boxes with, and it's nice. Looks amazing. Like my skateboard, I've got some skateboards lying around still. I don't know what I'm going to do with them yet. Nice. I have a feeling I'm going to make a Adirondack chair, because I've got some templates for one, but I might make it with some skateboards. I don't know yet.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
My small lumber cart, which takes up a small space in the workshop. I'm in the middle of trying to work out how to lay the workshop out a little bit better. I'm going to be spinning that round and shutting the door, or making the door not open. So I've got a bigger space in the middle. As part of that is I've got all the ducting ready to order for my dust extraction. So I've got a little old Woodwise chip extractor, which a lovely old bloke gave me for free when I went around to buy it. And because I stood talking to him about woodworking, he went, "Have it for free. There you go."
That's brilliant, isn't it?
It is. Yes, you talk to them; they love it. I was lucky last year as well. I left. One of them's up in the. One of them's up in the office, but in the other area. But I won a Hikoki giveaway on Instagram. Oh, there you go. Their new 12 volt range, which I didn't think it'd be any good because it's 12 volt, not 18. But they're absolute diamond. I got a drill driver and an impact driver, and since I've had them, they've been my go-to for which ones I use. So I've got 4 Black & Decker old drills and drivers and impact drivers I've had for a while, and I didn't want to go expensive on tools in that respect because I use them and use them and use them until they break. And for the cost I was paying for them, I wasn't too fussed about spending a little amount on them, as opposed to going buying a nice yellow Makita or something green from DeWalt or bluey green from DeWalt. So I know the colours the wrong way around. I've done it on purpose. But yeah, my Hikoki. I want some more Hikoki. It feels great. Even the kit feels amazing. That said, I've picked up something else that's orange. I've got a little Evolution circular saw of late because my circular saw was a cordless one, and it just didn't have the power I needed to do some work. So I donated that to a friend, and I got the Evolution one, which has got the all-in-one blade in it, so I can do various materials at the same time. Which over there, I've got a massive oak whiskey barrel, which I've got two of. One is on the drive still, sodden wet. That one has been drying out for a couple of weeks. So I've got a dog bed to make out of it. But unlike the normal dog bed where it gets chopped in half and flipped upside down, I want to do it lengthwise. So because I'm doing that, I've got to cut through the mud. So I want to test the blade out on that, see how, if it's as impressive as it feels like when I use it. So
it will go through the metal. It'll go through the metal like butter. I did Evolution sent me one, and I did a review on it, and it was brilliant.
That one.
Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah, they sent me that back in November, but because I've been in a bit of a weird place, it's waiting to be used, and I'm really looking forward to it. And I came down to do some work in the shop, and I was blowing smoke out my mouth. It missed because it was just so cold. And on one of the videos, I was dancing around with my hat on, and people were taking a mickey out of me how cold I was. And this is my little baby. I treated myself this about 4 months ago. Then Mr. Brooks, Paul bought himself one, and I watched him playing with it. I thought I was playing with one at Makers, knowing about it then. So I looked to see which one he bought, and then I bought the next model up. So this is the Axminster Craft AC2606B. I did it because I thought I've got twice the space in my workshop that Paul has, so why not? If I'm going to buy one, I want to buy one that's going to last. I tried not to buy the trade range because I thought I don't deserve to own the trade range yet. I want to one day, but that's my beast at the moment. It needs a new blade at the moment, and then I can start playing with it a bit more. But yeah, I utilise it quite a lot for the skateboard build. So that's my little shop. I've not got many big tools. I've got several in my basket on Amazon and Axminster and a few other websites at the moment because I am looking at buying a small CNC, little Chinesian one for now, just to do some engraving work. I'm looking at a wet sharpening stone system, because I've got a brand new pack of Ultex chisels, which I finally decided to buy myself a pack instead of just using ones I've acquired over the years. So I want to have somewhere where I can sharpen things properly. I've got my car boot finds over here, so all my planes, they're going to have somewhere to go soon on the wall. So what have I got? I've got a Stanley 4, 5, and number 6, and a little block plane. So the nice little things. But it's a nice size shop.
It's not a nice size shop.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. It's a nice size shop, but it needs a bit of a tidy up at the moment because once I've rearranged things and got rid of that old table, because I've got two vices on that table waiting to be mounted somewhere, and I've not put them anywhere yet. So I need a nice bench for them to go on. I've got my other half's grandfather's old tool chest in here, which is oak, and it needs to be taken apart and rebuilt and reconfigured. But it's going to be for her to use for her kit, not me. But I've also got his old bench in here. But when I say I've got his old bench, it's in pieces. I took it apart. It was like oak. It was made of old oak. It was stained to high heaven. There you go. I think that's a piece of it there. So it was stained to high heaven, and I stripped it all back because it was falling apart. It was racking from side to side, and I picked it up. Actually, that's what I made the mallet out of. So the idea was to make something that was going to stay in the shop and be utilised. But I've got 2 of those on the go because one's for my local micro pub because they're going to use it for tapping the barrels. And I talked about earlier a project I've been on for 10 weeks. It's this little thing. It's so simple, it should have been a day, but it's a clock from my colleague's daughter. So she wants to learn to tell the time, and he went to buy her something to learn to tell the time with, but it seemed a lot of expense for what it was for. So it's a simple clock face. It's got 12 rare earth magnets on where the numbers go, and I've got numbers cut out of little thin pieces of ply. Well, I bought them from Hobbycraft, but and they've got little magnet strips on the back of them, so they connect the magnets on there. So as she learns to tell the time, you can take like the 1, the 2, and the 4 and the 5 off, and the other one, so she's just got the 4 main numbers.
Yeah.
So she can learn to tell the time from that, and then she can learn to tell the time from just the magnets on the back. I had problems because I made it out of MDF and it wasn't taking paint. Then it was bubbling a little bit. Then I remembered I needed to put some epoxy on it for a little design I wanted to do. And the epoxy, when I sanded back for where the epoxy was going, it took all the paint off. I'd already applied. So I was I'm going through my head going, you've done this in the wrong order. You caused all these problems yourself. But yeah, so that's ready to go. The last thing I need to do for it is to actually, it's not having a proper mechanism on it. It's just going to be a manual, set the time. Read it, set the time, read it. So yeah, that's the last thing to go on there. But yeah, that's my little shop.
Brilliant. Okay, we'll carry on with the questions. I don't know if you want to go back into the house. Oh, it's warmer.
It's warmer, and hopefully daughter has made me a cup of tea because I walked past her while I was walking down here. Right
then. Well, thanks for the little tour of your workshop. It's a nice size, and I think people will. It will inspire people to, and it give people ideas on how to set theirs up. I like the cup, by the way. That's cool.
I've got several spares still.
Have you?
One of the guys at work prints them, and he just goes, "I made some more for you." Oh, thanks for that. Cool. But I think Paul's got one. It was really weird that I did a giveaway, and Paul randomly was one of the winners, and I felt really bad because I conversed him quite a lot, and he won. I was like, "Oh, this feels awkward."
Right. So, you probably know by now that Makers has been postponed till August. So, have you bought your tickets? Are you going to Makers this year?
I am.
You are.
I am going to Makers. I haven't bought my tickets, but I'm going due to other reasons. I've due to my hosting sideline, I put forward asked them if they wanted anyone to assist with the hosting on the stages, because obviously on main stage Kel does that and he runs around like a lunatic all weekend and never takes a break. And last year on stage 2, Jessie was hosting it, and she didn't really get much of a break. And I put my name forward and said, "Do you need anyone?" And they said, "Actually, we need someone to host the second stage." So I've been asked if I'll do that. So
brilliant.
I'll be there for the whole weekend hosting.
Excellent. Excellent. Yes. So projects we kind of touched on. I know you're working on the clock, and you're working on the secret project. So you can't say anything about that.
Yes.
Right then. Okay. So I ask everybody this question.
I talk about. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Have you got anything coming up on your channel?
Coming up wise, I've got the dog bed, which I've already mentioned, which is going to utilise in the oak whiskey barrel. Someone recently broke the coat stand at work near our desk. So instead of asking facilities for a new one, my team have asked if I'll knock one up. So I'm going to be learning how to make a hexagonal shaped pencil coat stand. So it's not necessarily going to be a pencil, but it's the same shape as like a HB pencil.
Yeah.
So it's it's trying to give myself something to learn. I try and learn something in each video.
That's good.
That's a skill, technique, or a new material. So I want to make that. I think on one of my videos I did the copper on the beer caddy, and I'd never used copper before. So I'm going to be putting copper into the coat stand as the actual peg sticking out.
Oh, right. Okay.
So that's something I've got coming up over the next few weeks. Yeah.
Sounds good. Oh, excuse me. Oh, right. Let's start that again. Right. So Yeah, like I say, I always ask everyone this question. Worst tool and favorite tool. So do you have a tool that you just don't like using or you're scared of or you just hate? And do you have a tool that is your favorite tool?
Favorite tool and tool I hate. I don't like using the jigsaw, only because I feel whatever I make using the jigsaw is erratic. Even if I take my time or if I go fast. I watched the David Picciuto video, Everyone Makes Something TV, where he made, I can't remember what he made, but he made something just out of using a jigsaw and showed how you can use it to finesse. And I was quite mesmerized by it because, yeah, it's not something I think of as a nice tool. It's one of them, yeah, I'll rip it down to a degree with that and then I'll sand it back. The tool I really like, I wanted to say my bandsaw, but you know, the thing that's getting more use than anything is my little Katsu hand trimmer, my little palm router.
Oh, right.
So much so, I'll make them one. Because my little router sled that I've made for doing box joints, I want to have one in there permanently because instead of loosening the holes up by putting a new one in each time, I just want to put some solid bolts into the top of it and just leave it in there. So I've got one for the expense. What is it? They're about £30-35 for the little hand trimmer, and I can grab it and I can throw it in the cupboard and grab it out when I need to. Because that's one of the things on the workshop. One that I always forget to show people when I go around my workshop is that underneath my main bench I've got 2 or 3 huge cupboards, which I've acquired, and in there is a lot of my power tools. So my hand trimmer router, my main half-inch collet router. My sanders, I've got a collection of about 4 or 5 orbital sanders and belt sanders in there. So all things like that you just are there and you grab them as and when you need them.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
that is, it's not something you'd go, that's my favorite tool, but it's something that is up there with the ease of use.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So direction of your channel, where are you hoping for your channel to be in 12 months?
It's 12 months time. More of the same, but a bit more entertaining because over on Instagram, people get to see me dance, they get to see me sing. Every now and again, I put my bloopers in there from when I'm making stuff.
Yeah.
So there was a video recently where I went end over end down the drive on the ice, and that got its first view on Instagram and a lot of comments. If I'm trying to video something and I lose where I'm talking, I then start to talk to myself and tell myself off or sing or dance, and then they end up on the Instagram. So I don't want to put those in my videos, but it's that lightheartedness and enjoyment that I'm trying to get across. I'm trying to not feel like a static camera, but when you're on your own, so I watch lots of video channels, so like Peter McKinnon and stuff like that, just to see how they do things, as opposed to I want to see how people make things. I want to see how their video style is. So I've over the recent months is one of the things I've done is I've invested in a new camera. So I've got multiple cameras now, and when I record, I'll record with 2 cameras at the same time, so I can cut between the 2. I try to record once. If I've got multiple things to do, multiple of the same cut, I'll try and do it once, turn the cameras off, and then enjoy making. And then use that first one and do 10-15 second cuts between for 2 or 3 times, and then move on to the next piece. Instead of having that long static, hi, I'm pushing things through the table saw.
Yeah.
But without having someone to hold the camera and do it for you, I've tried to ask both daughters. No, even though they both had an interest in photography for years, neither of them wanted to get involved. It's too cringeworthy as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. So finally, do you have a shout out for people to go and check out?
I do. I had a choice of 2.
Have 2. You can have 2 if you like.
2, right.
Certainly, yeah.
Right. One is a guy I talk to on Instagram quite a lot, and I follow his videos. He was a bit of my copper inspiration for my beer tote I made, and that's James Dean Designs. And James does a lot of making out of copper, bending pipes and making things. But he's bought his first CNC. It's the CNC I want to invest in. So
Right.
a 318 Pro Chinesium CNC machine, and he's doing a little series on setting that up and how it goes. And since he's done that, I've watched his channel grow and grow and grow from a viewpoint of view, and it's been quite interesting watching James's direction go from playing with copper all the time to playing with the CNC. But then he's going to put the two together at some point. And he's a really nice guy, and he's also one of the admins over on Woodworking UK on the Facebook channel. And what James does is he does Instagram posts for them. They have their own their own Instagram channel or Instagram account for people's projects where they're really nice projects and they want to show them off. So he asks for people's projects to be submitted on a Sunday, and he publishes them to show what the latest things are that week. So James is a nice champion of other people.
And he's on YouTube, yeah?
He is, yeah.
Okay. I've written that down. I'll put that in the description. And you say you got a second one?
I do, yes. I've gone for this one because I think she's great, and I don't think we don't have as many ladies at the forefront of making as we probably should do. This is Kirstie Pervin-Davies, and she's on YouTube and Instagram as well.
Kirstie
Pervin, Pervin.
Okay.
Davies. She's not posted on YouTube for 2 months, but I think it's due to the cold because she's based. Remembering her accent, she's based in Wales, and it's got a bit cold over the winter.
Yeah,
but she's her enthusiasm when she makes, it's like a early days April Wilkerson. So she's really, really enthusiastic with what she makes. And she's got a little container for a workshop or a little rented workshop, and she does it for a living as far as from watching her channel, and it's just really nice listening to her talking about how things are going on.
Okay, well, yeah, I'll leave both of them in the description for people to check out. Well, that's it from me. A massive thanks for letting me invade your space and your time. This will probably go up tonight. Actually, it's Thursday, isn't it? So 8 o'clock tonight, if we get time to download it and edit it and things like that. So, guys, if you've enjoyed this, head over, check out Shaun, subscribe to his channel if you like his content, that is, and check out the guys that Shaun mentioned in the description. Right, thanks, mate, and we'll see you next time.